Have you ever looked back at a choice you made and thought, if only I had done it differently, my life would feel so much easier right now? You're not alone. The truth is, after 60, many of us start to realize that the little mistakes we've been making all along can turn into big problems as we get older. And what's even harder is that most of these mistakes are so common, almost everyone makes them without realizing the consequences until it's too late. But here's the good news, it's never too late to turn things around. You can avoid these mistakes, protect your independence, and enjoy a fuller, happier life, no matter your age. In this conversation, I want to talk with you about 5 of the most damaging mistakes older adults make that quietly steal away their health, happiness, and freedom. By the end, you'll see that avoiding them isn't about perfection, it's about making small, intentional changes that protect your quality of life. So let's start with the first mistake, and I think you'll find it's one that's incredibly easy to fall into. It's the mistake of ignoring your body's signals. When we're younger, we're used to brushing things off. A little ache in the back? Just keep moving. Feeling tired all the time? Well, that's life. But after 60, ignoring these signals can be dangerous. That dull pain in your knee might be your body warning you of arthritis. That shortness of breath might be an early sign of heart or lung trouble. Too many older adults convince themselves it's just part of aging and wait until the problem is too big to ignore. I knew a man who ignored swelling in his legs for months, thinking it was just old age catching up. Turned out, it was a sign of heart failure, and by the time he sought help, he needed much more aggressive treatment than if he had gone earlier. The lesson here is simple, your body whispers before it screams. Pay attention to the whispers. If you notice something off, whether it's sleep changes, unusual fatigue, memory slips, or aches that don't go away, don't just accept it as getting older. Ask questions. Talk to your doctor. Most issues are easier to manage when caught early, and sometimes, they're not age at all but something entirely treatable. Now, let's move into the second mistake, one that is just as sneaky but has a huge impact on your overall well-being. This is the mistake of letting your social circle shrink until you're spending more and more time alone. Think about it. How many of your friends or neighbors do you see on a regular basis compared to 10 years ago? For many older adults, the answer is not very many. Life changes, retirement, children moving away, even the loss of a spouse, can leave us with fewer opportunities to connect. At first, it doesn't seem like a big deal. You may even tell yourself you enjoy the peace and quiet. But the truth is, social isolation is one of the fastest ways to harm your health. Studies have shown it can increase the risk of dementia, depression, and even shorten your life expectancy. I'll tell you about a woman I met who lived alone after her husband passed away. For years, she stopped going to church, quit her walking group, and told herself she was fine with watching TV all day. Eventually, she admitted to feeling so lonely that she didn't even want to get out of bed in the morning. Once she started reconnecting, calling her sister daily, joining a senior center program, her mood lifted, and her health improved. We humans are wired for connection, and this doesn't change with age. In fact, it becomes more important. Even simple interactions, like chatting with the cashier at the grocery store or greeting a neighbor, can make a huge difference in keeping your mind sharp and your spirit strong. If you find yourself withdrawing, recognize it as a warning sign. Pick up the phone, write a letter, or join a group activity. Loneliness is a mistake we often slide into without noticing, but with a little effort, it's one of the easiest to correct. The third mistake is one that can feel harmless but can truly steal your independence over time, neglecting movement. And no, I don't mean training for a marathon or lifting heavy weights. I mean the simple daily act of moving your body, stretching, walking, climbing stairs, bending down, standing up from a chair without struggle. Too many older adults stop moving because they think rest is safer. Maybe you've said, my knees hurt, so I'll just sit more. Or, I'm afraid of falling, so I won't go outside. But here's the thing, the less you move, the harder movement becomes. Muscles weaken, balance declines, and suddenly the risk of falling is higher than if you had kept moving in the first place. One of my neighbors, who's now 82, told me she nearly gave up walking outside because of her fear of tripping. Instead, she started practicing short walks inside her home, standing up from her chair 10 times in a row, and doing light stretches in the morning. After a few weeks, she felt steadier, more confident, and eventually was able to walk around her block again. That's the power of movement. It builds confidence as much as it builds strength. If you've slowed down, don't beat yourself up. Start small. Even 5 minutes of gentle stretching in the morning, or walking from one end of your hallway to the other a few times, makes a difference. Movement is medicine, and every little bit you do helps keep your independence intact. These 3 mistakes, ignoring your body's signals, letting your social world shrink, and neglecting movement, may seem like small things, but together, they can rob you of years of vitality and joy. The beautiful part is, you don't need to make dramatic changes to avoid them. What you need is awareness, and the willingness to take small steps toward listening to your body, staying connected, and keeping active. If you're still watching and feel that these insights are meaningful, please type number 2 in the comments to let me know you're still with me. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I warmly invite you to do so, and don't forget to turn on the bell, so you won't miss any of our upcoming videos designed to uplift, inform, and inspire. Your support truly means a lot. It's what keeps us going and allows us to continue sharing thoughtful, helpful content just for you. Now, let's continue this journey together. Now, another mistake I see so many older adults fall into is isolating themselves. And I don't just mean staying home alone, I mean pulling away from people, avoiding social gatherings, or convincing yourself that it's too late to make new friends. Loneliness is one of the most dangerous things for your health as you age. Studies show it can be just as harmful as smoking or carrying excess weight. But here's the truth, humans are built for connection. Your brain, your heart, even your immune system thrive when you feel connected to others. Think about how you feel when someone calls you just to chat, or when a neighbor stops by for a coffee. Your mood lifts, right? You suddenly feel more alive. That's because meaningful connections release chemicals in your brain that reduce stress, fight depression, and even lower blood pressure. Yet so many people in their 60s, 70s, and beyond tell themselves that they don't want to bother others or that everyone is too busy. But that's not true. People need you as much as you need them. The key is to take small steps. Call a family member instead of waiting for them to call you. Join a group that meets regularly, even if it's something simple like a walking club, a local church group, or a community center activity. If you enjoy learning, many libraries and senior centers offer free classes where you can meet people who share your interests. And if mobility is an issue, technology can be your best friend. Video calls may not replace a warm hug, but they can still bring laughter and connection into your day. The third big mistake I often see is ignoring physical activity. Now, I know what you might be thinking, at my age, exercise is too hard or I don't want to risk hurting myself. But let me tell you something, movement is medicine. Your body was designed to move, and the less you use it, the faster it declines. Sitting for hours every day weakens your muscles, stiffens your joints, and makes simple tasks like getting out of a chair or climbing stairs much harder than they need to be. But here's the good news, staying active doesn't have to mean lifting heavy weights or running marathons. Gentle, consistent movement makes a huge difference. A daily walk around the block, some light stretching in the morning, or a simple strength routine using resistance bands can improve balance, strengthen your heart, and keep your independence intact. Even gardening counts as exercise. It keeps you bending, stretching, and lifting in a way that supports your body. Think of it this way, every time you choose movement over sitting, you're adding more energy and vitality to your future self. You don't need hours at the gym, just 20 to 30 minutes of intentional movement a day can transform how you feel. And if you're struggling to start, pair it with something you enjoy. Listen to your favorite music while you walk, stretch while watching TV, or make it social by inviting a friend along. Movement becomes a joy when you see it as a gift to your body, not a punishment. What's important to remember is that these mistakes, isolating yourself and neglecting movement, don't just affect your body today, they shape how your life will look 5 or 10 years from now. A strong body and an active social life are two of the biggest factors in living longer, happier, and more independent years. And while it's easy to let these slip away little by little, it's just as easy to start reclaiming them with small, intentional steps. The fourth mistake, and perhaps one of the most heartbreaking, is neglecting your mental growth. Somewhere along the way, many older adults start to believe that learning and personal growth are only for the young. They say things like, "My time has passed," or "I'm too old to try something new." But here's the truth, your brain is like a muscle. The more you challenge it, the stronger it stays. And the stronger it is, the longer you maintain your memory, independence, and joy in life. When you stop challenging your mind, it begins to fade. That's why so many older adults struggle with forgetfulness, not because their brain is failing, but because they've stopped using it in meaningful ways. Think about how alive you feel when you're learning something new, whether it's a language, a recipe, or even a new card game. That spark you feel? That's your brain lighting up, building new connections, and protecting you against decline. You don't need to go back to school or take on something overwhelming. Growth can be as simple as reading a new book, learning how to use a new app on your phone, or exploring a hobby you've always been curious about. Some people take up painting, others start gardening, while others dive into puzzles or chess. Even storytelling, sharing your life experiences with younger generations, stimulates your brain and gives you a sense of purpose. And this brings us to the fifth mistake, which ties everything together: ignoring purpose. Too many older adults lose their sense of why. After retirement, after the kids are grown, after the busy years are behind you, it's easy to feel like you don't have a role anymore. But let me tell you, nothing could be further from the truth. Purpose is what gives you the will to get out of bed in the morning. It's what keeps your spirit alive. People who live with purpose, whether it's caring for a garden, volunteering, mentoring, or simply being present for family, live longer and happier lives. Science confirms this. Studies show that having a clear reason to get up every day can add years to your life and protect you from illness. The mistake is believing that purpose has to be something grand or world-changing. It doesn't. Purpose can be found in the little things: making someone smile, keeping your home peaceful, or caring for a pet. Even if you live alone, you can still have purpose in how you care for yourself and the way you spread kindness to others. So let's put it all together. The 5 mistakes older adults often make: ignoring health, isolating themselves, avoiding movement, neglecting mental growth, and living without purpose, aren't just habits. They're choices that slowly take away the joy and independence that every one of us deserves. The good news? Every single one of these can be changed, starting right now. Maybe it's booking that health checkup you've been putting off. Maybe it's calling a friend today, or taking a 10-minute walk after dinner. Maybe it's trying a crossword puzzle, or even writing down your stories for your grandchildren. Small actions build up into big change. Your future isn't written yet. No matter your age, you still have chapters left to live. And you get to decide how those chapters look, whether they're filled with strength, laughter, connection, and meaning, or whether they slip away because of these common mistakes. So my challenge for you today is this: choose one area where you recognize yourself in these mistakes, and take one simple action to change it. Just one. That small step could be the spark that keeps your best years still ahead of you. Because you see, aging isn't about how many candles are on your cake, it's about how much life you put into each day. And with the right choices, you can make these years not only longer, but richer, brighter, and more fulfilling than you ever imagined. Thank you for spending time with us today. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned from this video, and how you plan to apply it in your life. Your insights mean a lot to us and give us the motivation to keep spreading positivity and practical advice. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone you care about. Your support truly helps us continue creating meaningful content that informs, inspires, and uplifts. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.